firm believer that true inspiration can only come from complete transparency. And, I try to live my life in a way on all my social media platforms, and the things that people see, but not just what people see, but, in my everyday life, live in a way that is, completely transparent. I'm not one to talk much about myself or do much talking about the things that I'm doing, but I do know that my story can help someone who is out there, in between the fence of starting a business, in between the fence of, starting a cleaning company. And I want to give you that encouragement today. So be sure to stay tuned, because I'm going to get into who the cleaning lady is, what I do, and how I got here.
Oh boy, I feel weak, I feel insane. I feel you all in my veins. I need you.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the cleaning lady here, and thank you once again for tuning into my channel. For those who have been here before, welcome back. And for those, if this is your first time here at my channel, make sure you subscribe. So today's video is actually going to be just a little different. For those that don't know me, I am a young business owner. I've been a business owner since 2015, and now almost going on 5 years, I've owned and operated a commercial and residential cleaning company. So hence where the cleaning lady comes from, and where I get all of my tips and awesome hacks and advice and different things, product reviews, different things, is 5 years of experience in the cleaning industry. So I first want to start off by just saying, to all of my entrepreneurs out there, anybody that is, struggling right now, specifically small business owners. I know there's a lot of us who have been having a really, really hard time with the COVID-19 global pandemic. I want to encourage you to keep going. I went through a very tough time when this first started, but I made up in my mind that I was not gonna let a couple months or even maybe a couple years detour me from the 5 years that I've put into my business. So no matter what, keep going. Okay, we're gonna start there. But I think that it's important when you are trying to relay an inspirational message to give the real of the situation and to let people know the real. I'm not gonna go into why things won't work or what you shouldn't do or what you can't do. I'm just gonna tell you what you should do and what you do need to do. When it comes down to business, some things that I have learned over the years, just to give you a little bit of background about me. I'm gonna be 27 this year. I started my business when I was 22. I didn't really have any experience in entrepreneurship or running a business, but I knew that there was something different about my work ethic. There was something different about who I was as an employee. I've played basketball for years. I've always been a leader. And and for a while I ran from it, but I started to always find myself in these leadership positions, and that then transferred over to the professional side of my life as well. Didn't graduate college. In saying that, I do believe that education is important, and I'm always educating myself on different things in the world, but also different things in my field. Of the cleaning industry. You're gonna always have to be educated in whatever it is that you're pursuing, but don't let somebody tell you that you need to have a 4-year degree to be successful, because that's not true. For me, it's not that school is not something that I could do. It's just that once things didn't work out for me with basketball, I went a different route, and I said, okay, well, if I'm not gonna be able to be a successful WNBA player, then how can I create my own income and my own revenue without having to report to someone else? And so I didn't realize at the time the task that I was taking on, because some people say, oh, business owner, you're owning a business, and it's simple. Buy product, buy inventory, get a building, get supplies, get equipment, find clients. But it's a lot more than that. You know, it takes the willpower and the diligence to keep going no matter what. You know, a lot of people want success and successful results, but don't have the work ethic to keep the train rolling, even if it's a long train stop. Okay. So, you know, after I decided that I wanted to, you know, not finish college, I came back to Milwaukee, where I'm from, and, you know, I got a job. I got right into the workforce, I should say, and I was working, you know, full-time as a 19-year-old, working 40 hours a week. I, you know, was working a really good job. I was making, you know, well above minimum wage, had my own place, had my own car, you know, all these things that, you know, seemingly somebody who should be happy. So, you know, like a lot of people, I'm sure, in trying to figure out what was missing, I found myself in a very toxic relationship. And in that situation, you know, now looking back on it, I realized that I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about life in that situation, you know. But finally decided to get out of that situation, and that was when, you know, the creative juices started brewing and started, you know, flourishing. I spent, you know, the entire year of 2015 into 2016 working 2 jobs, okay? I worked those 2 jobs. I was working at a school from, you know, 8 in the morning to 4:15 p.m. and then going and working an aftercare job from 4:45 to about 7:45 in the evening. I did that for an entire school year. And, you know, as you can imagine, I was tired. You know, I was very tired because not only was I working 40 hours at one job full time, I also worked about 15 hours or so at another job after that. But all the rest of the time that I had, I spent that time working on my business. I spent that time, you know, creating logos, you know, getting logos created. I think my very first one of my friends did for me. Getting business cards, you know, getting a website together, creating a Facebook page. At the time, Instagram wasn't what it is now, but I, you know, about 6 months later, I created an Instagram when Instagram kind of got a little more, you know, popular and popping. But, you know, I spent that time really working diligently on my business. I, you know, posted on my Facebook every day. I made my own flyers on Microsoft Word at the time and posted flyers every day. Came up with a price list. I just took things very seriously because, again, you know, I knew that I wanted to create my own form of success and my own form of income that I could potentially pass down to generations, you know. And I didn't want this to be a side hustle or, you know, I didn't just want to be a service provider, but I wanted to create a business, you know. So school year goes by and I'm doing, you know, everywhere I was at, I was networking. And when I say networking, I mean networking to the point where, you know, people probably got tired of seeing C's Cleaning Service. They probably got tired of, you know, seeing me. But one thing I'm going to encourage you to do as a, you know, new entrepreneur or somebody who may be struggling to get clients, post. Make sure you post. You post everywhere. All social media handles, you know, get flyers, get business cards, get your information in front of everybody that you can. The great thing about the internet is that, you know, we can do that from our phones or our computers. We don't have to actually go out and meet people to potentially gain clients. You know, when I first started, I took flyers to the mall. I went to apartment buildings and asked them if I could put flyers up on their bulletin boards. I took flyers to church. I had business cards on me at all times. I got shirts made. I always wore shirts. I took it very seriously because I was serious, you know. And I will say this as well, the way that you go into your business, the momentum that you have, that is what's going to carry you through. If you go into it, you know, not really sure, you know, doing a half job, not serious about it, then, you know, as time goes on, you're going to run out of gas, you're going to run out of fuel. But if you build a strong foundation from the start, that foundation is going to continue to carry you as you continue to grow, okay? So first year down, you know, I got my LLC together, you know, got everything together, and I start getting clients. So I'm getting clients still while I'm working these 2 jobs. But, you know, for me, I had a goal to get a commercial client that, could pay a certain amount of money, okay? That's a personal goal that I had for my business. So until I reached that goal, I wasn't going to quit my job, okay? By the summer of 2016, I had gotten that first contract. When I got that contract, I was young. I was 20. I was 22. Wasn't 23 yet. Was going to be 23 that summer. And, one thing I wish I probably would have known a little bit better is how finances work with business, okay? You should have a business bank account. You should be paying yourself as if you were an employee. You should be, making sure that you are paying your business and putting money into your business savings. I didn't know any of that, I just was making money, treating it as if it was a job, and, putting everything into one account and not really being financially smart with the business income. But needless to say, I, at a young age, got that contract, was very happy, very proud of myself. And after that, it took me a while. I was very proud of myself, but, there was a momentum going. And this is when the going got tough, because I really thought, with that taste of that big contract, that, okay, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. And I want to be a commercial cleaner. I want to do commercial cleaning. Commercial cleaning is what's going to bring in the bacon. That's what I wanted to do. But I had the hardest time actually landing a commercial contract, to the point where, I contemplated stopping cleaning totally. Because at this point now, it's 2017. I had quit my job. I, decided, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur full time. And all that was seeming to come in was residential clients. I was putting in bids, networking. I would meet people at restaurants. I would meet people, through other mutual friends. I would meet people through my parents, meet people at church, meet people, all these different places on Facebook, business owners. I would network with them, but nothing ever came through on the business end for commercial cleaning. So I got a little discouraged. I'm not going to lie. I got discouraged. I'm like, okay, well, maybe there's something I'm doing wrong. Maybe I'm not presenting this the right way. Maybe I'm not, maybe I'm not. I kept doubting myself. And, doubt ended up putting me into a period of time where I was just complacent. Instead of taking what I actually had in front of me and making that the best that it could be, I got complacent and I just got kind of lazy. I stopped posting as much because I felt like, okay, now I'm almost 2 years in the game. I got a lot of clients coming in. All right, I don't got to do any more work. That's not true. You always have to do more work. You always have to keep putting in the same effort, if not more effort each time. Because the moment you get complacent, that's when you start to backtrack, and it becomes harder and harder to even get to where you were or surpass that, okay? So I found myself, I looked up, and it was 3 years in business, and, I still hadn't had a big contract that, would bring me some consistency. I still was just, hustling, bustling, getting, new clients here, carpet cleaning clients here, one-off cleanings, but no consistency. And I started to wonder, like, what was the issue? Like, what was I doing that was wrong? Because at this point, the business is coming in. I'm getting great reviews. I got 5-star reviews on Facebook. I'm doing everything that's needed, but I'm not getting the results that I want. So I think a time came where, I have a few friends that were in the cleaning industry and have been in the cleaning industry for a long time, and, could give me a little bit of insight and a little bit of mentorship. But I think a time came after having a few conversations that, a true smart business person is going to take whatever situation their business creates and make the best of that situation, okay? So that's what I did. And, I started to say, okay, well, I'm getting these residential clients, but obviously something about my business is more appealing to residential clients. There's nothing wrong with that. You can have, which at first I thought there was something wrong with that. I feel like, okay, I'm doing residential cleaning, a lot of people, like it's maid work and all of this stuff, but it's like, no. So what I decided to do was say, okay, how can I create contractual type of income from residential clients, okay? And this is when I actually was able to scale and grow my business. This was about 2000 and 18. I think about 2018 now, 2017, 2018. And I said, okay, well, how about I start to find, small business owners who are too busy to clean their homes and, have children, have pets, and they need some, housekeeping work. Let me start to appeal to, doctors and people with busy schedules that don't have time to clean their homes. And sure enough, I found, my first, I will never forget, sweetest lady I've ever met. My first client, downtown Milwaukee, first consistent residential client, once a week, every week. And it started to become very lucrative. Okay. I think I cleaned for her for about 1.5 years before she moved and her family moved out of town. Then after that, it was just referral after referral after referral, because you have to remember, successful people that, and I'm not just going to say successful people, but people that are patronizing your business, 9 times out of 10, they're going to, refer you to a friend or a family member or a coworker. And likely, if they're friends, family members, or co-workers with those people, they have something in common. It might not be the same exact thing, but especially co-workers, if you have a doctor who's busy and they have doctor friends who are busy, what are they going to do? They're going to need cleaning services. With every interaction, you have to treat every single interaction as if that is the first client you've ever gotten. And that's what I did. Every single interaction that I had, whether it been a business client, a residential client, a commercial client, any meeting I took, it was always treated as if it was the very first client that I've ever had. And I started to see that, things were starting to build up. Things were starting to build up. It's like, okay, I'm still out here in the field. No, don't get it twisted. I had hired some assistants, but I was still out there working. I was still working. My schedule was booked up. I was working myself, because what I felt is like, okay, if I can hire a couple people to help me out, then I can just be in 3 or 4 different places at the same time. I wasn't, and I still am not one of those business owners that want to hire people to just sit on their butt. There's nothing wrong with that. There are certain industries where, that's the type of business that it is. But I specifically believe for the cleaning industry that, it's important to be hands-on. Any service industry, it's important to be hands-on. You want your customers to see your face and know that you are very involved, and you want to, once you start hiring people, you want those assistants or employees, whatever you decide to call them, to be uniform. And when I say uniform, I don't mean necessarily what they have on, but in the way that they treat your customers. And if they see you treating your customers, perfect, with great respect and great customer service, they'll follow suit. If they see you putting in hard work and work ethic, they'll follow suit. And I realized the more that people that you hire, or you ask to help, or you pay them for, contract out, whatever the case might be, they're more willing to do a great job if they see that you're not just asking them to do something that, you're not willing to do. So, I got to the point where clients were coming in and I was getting more consistency. Things were working out. No complaints. I was just, things were working out. Thankfully, I figured it out with the residential clients. But as soon as I felt like I figured it out, it seemed like all at the same time, over a span of a couple months, every single residential client that I had something happen in their lives where they no longer needed service. I told you one of my first consistent clients, her family, they moved. They weren't from, actually from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but they moved back to their original, hometown. Another one, she had a baby, was going to be home, didn't need, the help. Another one, just, decided that she didn't need the service for a while. I don't know if it was budget or whatever the case might be. So, I found myself back at square one. And this is very important that you understand. With business, you have to be able to reinvent always. You can't allow obstacles or things that happen on a day-to-day to discourage you to the point where you're ready to give up. I always use the examples of a lot of these big companies. I'm sure there has been times where, McDonald's has came out with some type of item for their menu that they spent, you know, maybe even millions of dollars on, that did not sell the way that they projected it to, or they lost money. That doesn't mean that, okay, they lost this money, now they just are out of business, or they just give up. They can't, you know. And we have to treat our small businesses the same way, you know. Just because something doesn't work out or something doesn't go the way that we had planned for it or projected it to, doesn't mean that we are just done. We can't be done. You know, if we're serious about this, we can't be done. We can't just give up, okay? So, you know, I did a little bit of regrouping. You know, I started, you know, I'm not saying started because again, like I said, networking is just key. You just always need to be in a position to be able to network with any and everyone, okay? But I started, you know, doing some extra, like doing the extra mile with the networking to find more clients. And before you know it, a couple months passed and I found some more clients, okay? And I realized that we're in a time now where, you know, I believe everybody, if you have the willpower and the drive and the work ethic to put your all into your business, or a business idea, or a company, or whatever it is that you have brewing in your mind, I believe that we all should be able to do that and succeed at it. So whatever I can say to, you know, my subscribers or my viewers, anybody watching this that will encourage you to do that, that's what I want to do, okay? But 2018 was probably one of the worst years of my life. And like I said, I lost like literally every client that I spent the previous year and a half for working towards, all at the same time. And, you know, just a side note with that, you know, I know it's not in the plan for a lot of us to have to go back to work, or, you know, it feels like a failure if we go back to work. You know, I've been there. But I'll be the first to tell you, if somebody hasn't already told you, it's okay. We need money to succeed. We need money to survive, okay? If you want your business to succeed, you need money for that business. You have to be able to continue to invest in your business, okay? We need money to pay our bills, right? So if your business is not bringing in money, if there's an off season, you don't have any other sources of income, you need to get some sources of income, whether that be a job, a side gig, freelance. I mean, we live in an era now where there's Uber, Postmates, all type of things. I think I'm gonna do a video, because I've done a lot of freelance and made some good money doing freelance. I'm gonna do a video about, you know, some of my experiences, especially when I moved to LA, you know, in freelance, and how it helped me, you know, as an entrepreneur, stay afloat. But, you know, use your resources. There's a lot of things out there, you know, even if you don't want to get a 9-to-5, a strict scheduled job, there's a lot of things out there that can help you make ends meet and help you make sure you can continue to take care of yourself. So I went ahead, got that job, and I think I did that for about, it was actually the end of 2017, into like the middle of like the beginning of 2018. And then I did another type of side gig from the middle of 2018 till about the end of 2018. And, you know, everything happens for a reason. You know, I don't know, you know, who's watching, who's spiritual, or who believes in, you know, something higher than them. But, you know, I truly believe that if you keep a positive mind, positively reinforce the thoughts in your mind, that positive things will, you know, naturally happen. And that's what I did. I mean, I spent a lot of time down and out and discouraged, because I literally felt like everything I had worked for the last 3 years at that time was, you know, just a complete waste of time. You know, clients weren't coming in how they were. You know, I had to resort to, you know, some other forms of income to make sure that I could, you know, even keep my business afloat. You know what I'm saying? Because I had insurance, I had, you know, repair on my equipment, you know, different things that I, you know, monthly bills and expenses for my business that I had to make sure I can continue to pay. But I realized that, you know, I hadn't been giving my business the same energy that I was giving it from the beginning. And I figured out that that was the reason why. A lot of times when we have things happen in our business, we get complacent. We get, you know, we're doing well, money's coming in. We stop doing what we did to get the money and get the success and the clients in the first place. I'm encouraging my fellow business owners and entrepreneurs out there to try to continue giving the same energy and effort day in and day out. I'm learning now that, there is no breaks. There is no, you take a vacation, let that be your break, But while you're in work mode, you're in go mode, it's go time. There is no break. Because the moment we let up, that's when things start to unsettle, and you'll start to, over time, notice that you let up. And that's what happened with me. I realized the reason why 2018 was such a crappy year was because in 2017, everything was so great. I wasn't doing what I needed to do on the back end to make sure that things could continue to be great. So 2018, I met the love of my life, and they actually are heavy into the music industry, did a lot of touring with, some big name artists, did graduate from Berklee College of Music, and lived then and now in Los Angeles. And we met, and everything happens for a reason, because they always encouraged me to keep a positive mindset. And this is when, that positive reinforcement and just really believing that what I think is very powerful. It came from the beginning of the relationship with my partner. And from then, honestly, even in every obstacle that has came up, I have been able to overcome just because of my mindset. I really became a firm believer that mindset is everything. Mind over matter. No matter what happens, as long as you keep it together here, you can keep it together out there. And that's just, it's proven, it's factual. That's just what it is. I decided to move to LA, and, I also do music, and what brought me and my partner together is music. And, they started producing, music for me, and we started doing music together. And I ended up, deciding that I may possibly want to move to Los Angeles. At the time, when I was thinking about this, there was nothing that was holding me in Milwaukee besides my business. But the reality of it is we create our own sources of income so that nothing is holding us back, right? So I wanted to figure out how to continue business in Milwaukee and be able to relocate to another state. And that's what I did. It was rocky in the beginning. I had no intentions on even starting a C's cleaning service LA. I just really wanted to continue to keep clients coming in Milwaukee that, could pay my bills here so I can work on my music. Like, that was my main plan. But of course, things sometimes don't go as planned. I got here. The guy that I had working as an assistant in Milwaukee decided that he wanted to move as well. So I had to find, some other people that could help out. A couple clients decided they didn't need service anymore. Just the same, same old with the cleaning industry. That's just kind of how it goes with residential cleanings. But I just, I took to the fact that if I've done this before, I've regrouped and reinvented before multiple times, I can do it again. There's nothing stopping me from doing it again, and there's nothing stopping you from doing it. You have to believe that, and once you believe it and you truly see it for yourself, and you believe it in your mind, and you are putting the work behind it, you can do whatever you want to do. So got through 2019, and keep one-off clients in Milwaukee, businesses going in Milwaukee. Like I mentioned in the beginning, transparency is important. And, I don't like to make it seem like I'm just living this glamorous, luxurious lifestyle because I own a business and I'm operating another business in another city. It's like, no, it's hard work, As you see right now, I'm barefaced, like no makeup, no glamour. Like, yeah, it's sunny outside. I'm, live in Los Angeles, but out here, it's always been about the grind. I moved out here with the intentions on really scaling my life, and it just so happened that I had a conversation with a business owner here in LA that said to me, you should start getting clients in Los Angeles. Like, it's a very high market for that out here. And I figured because it's a city where there's 4 million people that live here, right? But I think fear for a while, for a couple months, just kind of stopped me from doing it. I had so much PTSD from everything I had went through for the last, at the time, 4 years in Milwaukee. I'm just like, I think I only have energy to, get Milwaukee done. But I had decided in December of 2019, like, you know what? We're going into a new year, new decade. I am going to be a multi-city cleaning service owner. And when I said that, I did a vision board. I wrote it down. I put together a plan. And that's what I did. Somebody sent me some resources for a couple different, apps and different things that I could sign up for to gain clients. I had to be willing to spend a little money, because of course, if you're not, there's some certain things about business that you have to understand to run a business, but that's not what this video is about. This video is strictly for encouragement. But people ask me a lot, like, how did you go from, Milwaukee to LA and, all of these things? And it's just like, everything happens for a reason. Opportune times, created opportune situations. And those situations, with the mindset that I have and the drive that I have, powered me to just scale. And so now, I'm in a place where I honestly want to go to different cities. I want to do different things. But, I want to wrap up this video by just, making sure that I encourage you to keep going, keep pushing. Like, there's nothing that you can't do. And, don't let somebody tell you what you can't do.
That's all for this video, guys. I hope someone was encouraged by my entrepreneurial journey. Be sure to like the content if you thought the video was awesome, and make sure you subscribe to my channel so that when I release my next videos, you guys get the first notifications of it. Until next time, peace.